Hey everyone, welcome back to the homestead. So today we're sitting out here by the fish pond because we have had questions in the comments about what to feed fish. And so we're going to talk about that today. And we just did a video addressing a question about using dog food. And so if you watched that video and then you came here, well, I thank you for watching and following along. If you didn't watch it, the short answer is probably don't do it, but I'll leave a link right down below where you can go back and watch that video if you like. But let's move on. What should you feed your fish on a regular basis? Well, there's lots of different options out there as far as commercially available fish foods. But here's one thing. First of all, first and foremost, anything you put into your pond, anything you feed or anything you put into the water, always make sure that it's made and intended for fish that are intended for human consumption. That is if you're raising tilapia, catfish, trout, bass, bluegill, anything like that for that purpose. All right. Now, the one product that I have found is really hopefully optimal for this purpose is a product made by Purina called Aquamax. Okay, so that's what we're really going to be focusing on is the different Aquamax products that are available, when and why you might want to use them at different stages for your fish's lives, and where you can get them and what's involved with those. Also, there's a chart that I'm going to post right here. That chart is what is recommended by Lakeway. Actually, it's recommended by Purina. I got it from lakewaytilapia.com. An excellent resource for anybody who's wanting to learn about growing fish in their backyard, or if you want to even go in and do it commercially. But it's an excellent resource to learn, and they do sell some of these products on there, and they might be the right source for you for some of them, maybe not for others. So what that chart shows you is what Purina recommends as far as these products that they're putting out, of how much you should feed on what frequency for the different life stages of your fish. Now, I don't exactly follow it 100%. In fact, I don't follow it at all. But it is a good resource, and that's what got me started. Here's why I don't follow it. I have no idea how many fish are in here. There's fish of all different size, from little fingerling fish up to a few inches up to big ones. And so I just feed what I feed. We'll talk about what I actually feed in a little bit. I feed what I feed, and they seem to be doing okay. But if you are more of that scientifically nature type person and you want to organize your fish system in separate grow out areas, that would be kind of the charting that you would want to use. All right, so the first product off that chart I want to talk about is the Aquamax 4000 Dense, or you'll see it actually labeled as pond fish. So this is it right here. Okay, you can see it's a pretty good size little pellet, whatever you want to call these. They're 3/16 inch. They are floating. They are highly palatable. The fish love them. They're made for your bigger fish that are 6 inches and larger. Now, the smaller ones will nibble at them and can eat them as well, but it's mainly intended for the bigger fish. This stuff I buy from Tractor Supply. That is the best place I've found to get it. I just order it online, have it shipped to my local store, and I go down and pick it up. I could buy it that way for about $42 for a 50-pound bag. And that 50-pound bag will last a long time. Now, with the question about dog food, whether you can feed dog food or not, well, if you compare this to Purina 1 dog food, I saw that on Chewy for $46 a bag for a 40-pound bag. So it's actually cheaper in this case. Now, the Aquamax 4000 has a protein percentage of 36%. Compare that to the Purina 1 dog food, it's only 26%. So that really illustrates why you want to use fish food, because it's got the protein content that fish need. As they're smaller, they actually need even more, up to 50% protein. And then as they grow, they can use a little bit less. But dog food's still not going to get anywhere near that. Additionally, the fat content is much lower on the fish food than it is on the dog food. They don't need that much fat. Same thing with the fiber. Okay. Now this is like I said, it is a floating pebble, which that has some benefits, man. When you put that stuff in there, you can see how much they're actually attacking it, whether they're really hungry or not. If they're really not really eating it that much, and they're don't seem to really get hungry for several days, you might know there's something going on with the fish. You also can use that to indicate how much do you need to feed. Do you need to keep feeding them more until you figure out how much they like to eat? And if there's any that's left uneaten because it's floating, it's easy to take it out and remove it. All right, next is going to be the Growler 400. This is going to be for your fish kind of in the 5 to 6 inch range, in your teenage years for the fish, right? Now, you can also use this for not just catfish and tilapia. You can also use these things for bass, trout, right? The Growler 400, because it's for a little smaller fish, is going to have quite a bit more protein. It's actually up to 46%, and fat is at 16%. Now, this stuff, I wouldn't want to buy this stuff on Tractor Supply. On Tractor Supply, you can only get it in the 50-pound bag for about 70 bucks. But you don't need that much. You really, because this is a much smaller pellet. Let me grab some of that. So these are the Growler 400. You can see these are a lot smaller. They're 1/16. These also are floating, so the same things that were the benefits about the previous ones that were floating, you get that here too. These ones, Lakeway Tilapia might actually be your best resource for. You'll have to do some shopping around to see, but you can get these ones on Lakeway Tilapia right now, currently anyways. The 3-pound bag sells for about $21. A 6-pound bag sells for about $32, and for 100 fingerling, they suggest with the Aquamax growing chart, they say for 100 fingerling to get them to grow up to the next size to where you would then go onto the dense 4,000, you should need about 6 pounds. So for 32 bucks from there. I don't know what they charge for shipping or anything like that. Okay. All right, next we're going to talk about Fingerling Starter. I don't have any of this stuff to show you, and I don't really use it. I just use the Growler and I use the dents. But if you were going to do it, okay, Fingerling Starter for your smaller fish, kind of 1 inches up to maybe 5 inches or so in length. This one is a sinking pellet. All right, so because it's really small fish, they don't come to the surface as much. They're a little more scared and they stay down below. So you want something that's going to sink and get down to them. A little higher protein on this one. Again, not Tractor Supply to buy these. You would want to look on Lakeway Tilapia, maybe some other places. I saw a 4-pound bag for $25, 2 pounds for $21. Again, they say you're going to need about 4 pounds. Do you have like 100 of them? All right, next we'll talk about fry powder. Now, you would only use fry powder if you are actually having a breeding set colony and you're removing the fry and growing them out in their own space. In this pond here, I don't worry about it. But the fry powder is going to be, again, sinking because it's powder. Obviously, it's going to be really small, higher protein, that 50% protein range, a little higher fat. I saw this stuff being sold on eBay for $16. Do some shopping around if you want to get involved with that. All right, now we're going to talk about kind of what I really like to do, which is to get rid of buying any of this food and create all my own food at home for the fish. In nature, nobody's buying them fish out there their own food. You know, nature supplies it. Well, we could kind of mimic that here. You see in my pond, I have some things growing in here, so plants are a great option. Before we talk about plants, though, let's talk about another one: black soldier fly larvae. You know, people raise these things at home and they make their own feed from it. They can use it for their chickens as well, and for fish. So that's something that you might look into. I'm definitely going to be looking into that in the future. Plants, okay, I already supplement maybe about, I don't know, I'm not even going to try and put a percentage on it. Not a lot of it, but I could supplement more. So you'll see I have some things growing here. That's water hyacinth. There's water lettuce over here. I've also grown duckweed. I have fed cabbage. I think you can feed spinach. You probably could feed sweet potato vine. Man, they'll eat a lot of things. And so between growing these things, not only in the water, maybe in your garden, or if you're doing aquaponics, then you can raise them that way and feed it to them. There's lots of things you can do to at least supplement and maybe fully replace the entire diet that your fish need. So definitely plants are a great option. They also, in the water, they provide the the alternative benefit of they're helping to clean the water. Okay. All right, so let's talk briefly about how I actually feed. Okay, I usually take some of the smaller Growler 400, some of the dense 4,000, the pond fish stuff, And because I have a variety of sizes of fish, all the way down from fingerling size up to, I don't know, 12 inches or so inside of there. And I usually feed twice a day because I work a regular job, so I feed in the morning and I feed at night. On days when I'm off of work, like today, they might get an extra feeding in the afternoon. So usually a handful of the 400, I usually toss that in first. I toss that in first because it gives the smaller fish an opportunity to try and get to some of the feed before the big fish start going crazy over the other stuff. And then I take a few handfuls of the dense 4000, throw a few handfuls in and let them eat that up. Once they've eaten up everything that's on the surface there, I might throw in maybe a half a handful and see if they're still hungry. If they are, okay, we'll give them a little bit more. If not, then we're done. All right, well, I hope that helps to clear up some of the questions about what should you feed your fish and what might it cost you and all of that. It is not going to be less expensive than going to the grocery store and buying your fish. People have asked, well, is this really cost effective? No. No farming at home on your individual scale is ever going to be cost effective compared to the grocery store. You might think you're going to save some money here and there, but you just end up spending a lot more money. It is a lot more expensive to do this probably than it is to go down and buy stuff from the grocery store. This is a self-reliance type of thing, okay? That's why you do this. It's also a fun hobby, and so that's why I do it, not for cost savings. But I thank you for watching. If you have questions, comments, anything like that, please drop them down below. You want to tell me I'm wrong about something? I don't care. Drop it down below. We'll have that discussion. I just enjoyed the fact that you watched, and I hope you have a great day.